The Dark Knight, a man who instills fear into the hearts of criminals, moves through Gotham's shadows, quietly watching over the innocent. A man who outsmarts and outplays even the strongest and most intelligent foes, and a man who, at the beginning of his career, made many mistakes. You see, in the beginning, like so many heroes, Batman failed more than he succeeded, learning through trial and error what it really meant to be the Dark Knight. For example, in Batman Year One, we see Bruce Wayne return to Gotham after 12 years of training abroad. While exploring the city's nightlife, he's confronted by a knife-wielding street hustler whom he quickly disarms and knocks down. However, one of the man's associates manages to stab Bruce during the struggle. After fending them off, he's pursued and shot at by Gotham's corrupt police. Though badly wounded, he escapes and makes it back to Wayne Manor, where bleeding and exhausted he first conceives the idea of becoming Batman. But his first days as Batman weren't easy either.
What?
As he attacked 3 thieves on his first night, Batman quickly notices one of them falling, so he grabs him, reminding himself that Batman won't be a killer, while the other 2 keep beating Bruce non-stop. In the end, Bruce manages to defeat both men without letting go of the other, but he collapses from exhaustion, simply telling himself,
My shoulder and teeth are still where they belong. I'm lucky. Lucky amateur.
The same thing happened after his first run-in with the police as Batman, when he was shot in the leg and barely managed to escape. Or even before he had all his gadgets, he chose to confront a vampire and was nearly eaten, and then fell into his trap, barely managing to escape alive. And if you think Bruce never had problems with physical fights in the beginning, wait until you hear about Jordy. You see, Jordy is a kid-like giant with a good heart who loves everyone, but hidden inside him is a darker side that wreaks havoc whenever it comes out. After a man destroyed one of his toys, Jordy lost control and tore apart part of the city. So Batman tracked him down and tried to stop him. They began to talk, and Jordy warned Bruce to leave before his bad side showed up, but Bruce refused, which only made Jordy angrier, and as Batman collapsed on the car, Jordy's personality switched and he ran away. Even though that was one of the worst beatings Batman had ever received at that point, Bruce realized he had to help Jordy, even as Alfred questioned whether Bruce was truly prepared to deal with threats like this.
Then, despite the appearance of a decisive defeat, sir, shall I assume there is a fight yet to conclude?
There's a monster still at large.
Apparently so, sir. But if it is responsible for the current state of your face, are you quite certain you're prepared to slay this particular dragon?
So he tracked down a psychologist to learn more about Jordy and his split personality, while the legend of Batman continued to spread across Gotham.
I need help.
You're real? There really is a Batman?
After that, he meets Gordon, with whom he is still building trust and a working relationship. Batman admits he has located Jordy, so Gordon threatens to arrest him and dismantle the bat signal if he doesn't reveal Jordy's location. Batman gives in, but afterwards he goes to Jordy and immediately tells him about Jim and what he plans to do. Suddenly, Jordy's personality shifts, and he begins causing chaos while Batman tries to calm everyone down. Jordy flees, so Batman gives chase, but then Jordy turns and attacks him, but once again.
Jackbot!
Jordy proves to be too much for the inexperienced Batman until Gordon shows up, causing Jordy to run off and crash into a shop. This time, however, we finally see Batman prepared, wearing a gas mask. When Jordy tries to attack him again, Batman counters by releasing knockout gas, which allows him to finally defeat Jordy. In Batman Earth 1, we see an even more realistic and reimagined Batman, one who is less polished and far more inexperienced than the mainstream version, gradually growing into the role. For instance, during one of his earliest patrols, he chases a criminal, and as the man gets farther and farther away, Batman decides to use his grapple gun, only for it to jam. So he drops the gun and starts running after the criminal, who scrambles up a set of metal stairs. As the man climbs, the old bolts begin to loosen under his weight. But Batman doesn't give up. He leaps, reaching for the criminal, only to He gets up, injured, but as he looks up, he notices two thieves running from a shop. As the shopkeeper screams for help, Batman turns aside, realizing he's still not ready for the job. As he moves through the alley, he meets a woman who, not knowing who Batman is, becomes frightened and begs him not to hurt her. But Batman simply pulls out a handful of cash, gives it to her, and then leaves in his car. The next day, he confronts a man who might be responsible for the death of his parents, but once again, he doesn't check his surroundings as the main Batman would and gets knocked down. When he gets up, he manages to put up a good fight and even knocks out James Gordon. But as the police open fire, he gets shot. Using his grapple gun, he manages to escape and makes it back to Alfred, bloody, beaten, and barely alive. So even though we now see Batman as a master detective, it's clear that he had to learn through experience, facing criminals and difficult challenges before becoming the world-famous detective we know today.